My family and I have ventured to this place seeking a few things, but personally for myself, I am seeking out specifically cordyceps mushrooms in whatever form that I can acquire them.
And for what purpose do you plan to use such a thing?
Well, with my history of medicine, my knowledge of medical manipulation, my intentions are to modify them to help with the removal of a pest.
A pest.
Yes,
It's been a long time since I have seen your face.
that creature that I am trying to deal with. It is precisely the person that was here, sharing my face, that created that creature. At least I believe.
You were saying that an artificial person created a weapon of mass destruction.
I don't believe that his intention was to create a weapon of mass destruction, but a weapon of immediate destruction. The mass part, it's simply a byproduct of that weapon's nature.
You know, the last time a model like yours came through here, they too spoke of the creature. We are going to ask that you return our ship and hand over Shakespeare's vessel as evidence against him.
Wait, it's not going to happen.
As evidence against him? Why would you need evidence against Shakespeare?
His trial is in 1 week time.
Then is Shakespeare here?
He isn't here, no, aboard this vessel, but he is under the brother.
I'm going to get whatever anyway.
Everyone shut up. I know I'm old, but listen, let me fucking get it out. Please, for God's sake. I am winded. What the hell does talking to Shakespeare have to do with anything? Right? We already have all of his stuff. What good is talking to him gonna do, especially if we only have 3 minutes? He might give us a password. It's just gonna take us longer to figure it out ourselves with all of the stuff that we have. What's the goal with talking to this man?
I point at Wendy, and then I point at her neck.
Yeah, you saw him. You seen him. He's there. There he is. You seen him. He's gonna die. What was the... I'm missing the part here.
I told them that if you helped me get him out of here, the only way he's getting out of here is for us to just let his time run out.
Oh, well, that's fucking... Yeah, that's a bad time, because they're going to give us 3 minutes. See, that's why we're going to talk it out, guys. Now we have a problem.
She says, no, this is ending now. And she reaches at your back and pulls your gun and points it at all of you. You are going to let him thaw out, and you are going to let him die.
Hey, don't point it at me. I'm on your side. Can you not hear me?
This is gonna happen. So if you want to talk to him, you better thaw him out and talk to him in 10 minutes. Oh, this is not good. Arsalan, this is prison ship 1. Prison ship 1. We have a problem. There may in fact be, I don't know, a gun on board, and looks like the tea time lady's lost her tea, if you know what I mean. He rips her free of you, and as he does, the chain break. The embryo goes flipping in the air, and it smashes to the floor of the metal of this ship, and it breaks open, spilling.
Bryn immediately fires into the embryo. I'm sorry, but that's happening.
Yolk and black and goo splatters everywhere. Black ichor and goo from the inside of this embryo splatters all across the face of them. As this happens, you hear a boop, boop, as the glass shield on Shakespeare's tubing slides down. The shot fires off, blow, and it splatters in one direction, hitting 3 people: the guard, Wendy, and Shakespeare.
Love
he
that.
kind of wipes it from his eyes and smears it down his face. He goes, oh my God, it's nasty. What is that?
Guys, I don't want to cause any more alarm than we possibly have already done so, but the splattering of the embryo here has released part of the amniotic gel and also tissue and bits of alien. And some of it has gone on to Miss Wendy here, some of it's gone on to Flex, and also our friend Shakespeare here. There's a 50% chance that could mutate inside their body, creating a new embryo, thus creating a chest burster, thus creating at least 3 new xenomorphs, in which case we should fucking fuck off immediately. I don't care what happens to Shakespeare rather. I don't care what happens to Wendy. I didn't even know who you were until about 20 minutes ago. And Flex, you seem like a moron. No offense, you really got big muscles. But we should leave, regardless of the people. What are they gonna come throw sticks at us? They don't even have
As
guns.
you say that, you hear the sound of a ship docking to yours. He goes, oh, good. Now I can get away from these crazy people. My shift's over anyways, right? And he goes to the door and hits the button and unlocks it. And the door kicks down. Metal hits metal. In pour monks you have not seen before.
Excuse me, hello. My name is Dr. Axbarden, and I would like to draw your attention to the black and clear liquid in this general vicinity, and I would advise you not to touch it. It is a known contagion that my friend Kitchens here
They
has
see the
previously
blood.
mentioned to you.
The man at the front of the kind of 6 of them as they pour in looks at all of you. He looks at the pool of blood and the smear mark where you, Brother Flex. Where is Brother Flex?
He's in a tube
In
to
cryo.
save his life.
Did you shoot Brother Flex?
I did. You can deal with me if you want to.
Please drop your firearm and come with us. They put you in kind of a transport hold, we'll say, and kind of lock you into your seats. They don't bind your hands. There's no like handcuffs or any of that kind of stuff, but you have these 6 monks that watch you. They put you in this hold and they close the door behind you. And they set off a gas that lulls you all into a sleep.
Guessing
I guess
except me.
Sans Kitchens. And Kitchens, you watch as you'd stay awake, and they would know that. They don't treat your friends poorly, but you can tell that these monks are very fit, well trained. When you arrive back on the main station, they escort all of you. Well, they escort you and take your friends to a holding cell. Did they get the situation cleaned up? Yes, they did. We lost Brother Flex. They're burning his body tonight. They're in the middle of reviving the woman now. They decided to skip Shakespeare's trial and brought his body back on board for an examination.
I rush the bars. Wendy has been infected. The woman has been infected.
They turn and look at you, and they hear what you say, though they do not respond in any way. And Kitchens, for the first time ever, your eye twitches just a little. The name Judas, written on your forearm, even though you cannot see it, almost burns in a way. And Wendy walks aboard freely somewhere on this station.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for episode 13 of our 3rd season of Alien Genesis. If you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon. Link for that down in the description below. Join us at the $5 tier, get access to all of our exclusive after shows. Join us at the $10 tier, get access to all of our prep streams and other secret videos type events. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, there is the corruption bar. That bar serves 2 purposes. One is when that bar fills, Dot does terrible things to us, like unleash potential aliens in the ship. And 2, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. That being said, Dot, please don't kill us in space.
I promise nothing, Mike. Not after this week.
Damn it.
That being said, wait, am I lagging?
No, you're good.
Okay. It just looked weird on my end. My screen was lagging. Okay. Cool. Well, friends, we had a wonderfully cut and edited last week on. So instead this week, we're gonna kick off right into the heart of things. But as the team wakes up from a sleepy slumber, a medical-induced sleep, that would be Barden, Vince, Ren, Ace, and no, I'm sorry, Wendy is not here. You all feel really bad. It's kind of like a hangover. And it's very damp where you currently are. And as you come to, I want to know, what were you dreaming of?
Electric sheep.
Cough, cough, hint, hint.
Coming in 2023. Barden was dreaming of retirement. In all actuality. Before all of the fuckery of today, as it were, he was legitimately thinking of retiring.
Is that
here
like
in
log
this
cabin in the woods? What does retirement look like
here.
for
He was thinking
Barden?
about he joked about it, but he was thinking about
Oh, you
retiring
mean on board
here
Arceon?
on board
Oh.
Arceon. Yeah, it's got like science things. It's got like a nice like elderly garden. It's got acupuncture. It's got a G MILF masseuse. You know, so it's everything that Barden needs. And now he awakes to a nightmare that is reality, in which all hopes of that are dashed.
What about Vince and Rin?
Vince, his dream, at least probably what he'll remember of it, centers around everything that happened in that prison ship and the moment where Wendy just kept begging not to be put in the cryo chamber or in the cryopod. And Vince there face to face, blood streaming from his face, trying to convince her to get in. And he dreams of the time when he finally got Wendy to get into the cryopod, and the other monks were getting ready to bang down the door. And instead of the monks banging down the door, Vince looks around and sees all of his friends are not in the room. And a light shines over one of the nearby cryopods, and he walks over to it and kind of wipes away some of the ice, or wipes away some of the ice on the cover of it. And he sees that Ace is in a cryopod. And then he goes over to another cryopod and sees that Barden's in one, and that Kitchens is in one, and that Rin is in one. And then he just sort of feels like he's running for the rest of his dream, just running from something that he can't see alone.
Oh, that's deep.
Rin does not have dreams but nightmares, which is why she drinks so excessively in the evenings normally. And in this nightmare, her biggest fear comes to fruition, which is that this place is overrun by the boogeyman, so to speak, alien. And she does actually see everybody that she's known or met or crossed paths with dead on the station.
It's very interesting, these three dreams. One of a future possibility, all of them future possibilities, really, but one of them of the detriment of the station, one of actions that, questionable actions taken, and others of missed opportunity. Kitchens, they're out for 24 hours. And as all of you wake up, you hear a banging above you. You sit in a metal cell, not a square cell, but one that has been makeshifted from an old sewer system on Arceon. I actually have a picture up in Roll20. The grate is above you. It's on the ceiling piece. And you can see there's a small few inches of water that trickle through a ravine through another grate into like the larger area of the sewer system. And you can see farther down, each one of these sections has been worked into cells. All of you share one. It's not a very large space, but you are all put into one. And they lower down, as you all kind of wake, some food. It's not very good food, but it is food. And a canteen of water. You watch one of the brothers in these black beads lower it down. He doesn't even speak to you, and he walks away. Kitchens, you can see that most of them are waking now.
Kitchens will just wait. He'll wait for coherency.
Oh, thank God, I was starving. It's entire time. Oh, okay. So we're in prison.
Not surprising. Is that just water, or is there maybe by some miracle something else?
I don't think the space hippies are in the kind of mood to serve their prisoners alcohol, Ren. That's what you're getting.
Point taken.
I have a question, because in the prison, Vince was clawed on the face and took 2 points of health damage and is at 1 HP right now. Would I?
Yes.
Does that heal at all, or am I still just at 1?
I would say it might heal up 1. It's only been about 24 hours, so you could heal up 1 of those 2.
Okay.
There will probably be permanent scarring to your face to some degree. Like ripped it, like some of your eyebrow off, like it's real rough.
Yeah. Hopefully turns someday into a cool eyebrow scar.
Yeah,
survive.
when you're middle aged, it's gonna look really awesome.
Yeah.
Totally badass. Something to aspire towards. But yes,
Okay.
you can heal 1. Ren, did you take any damage?
Nope.
No, it was just okay. Great, it was just Vince. Yeah.
Vince will make sure that Ace is in here and kind of goes over to her and just quietly checks in, and then we'll turn to Kitchens and say, how long has it been? How long were we out? What time is it?
Well, I lack much of a circadian rhythm here, but without some immediate form, I would guess it's been about a day.
Jeez.
Did they mention what the plan was for us criminals?
Well, I would presume that we were going to be judged.
Oh, you think they're actually going to give us a trial?
I like to think that they will hold some sort of formal visual judgment, yes.
Well, given how things unfolded, I would probably say, why don't you let me take the fall on this one and finish your deal? I have a feeling that these people won't be around for much longer anyway.
Yeah.
There might not even be a trial.
Speaking of that, you hear any word about any attacks?
It's been incredibly silent.
You did hear them say that they did bring Shakespeare and Wendy back for checking them in the labs here on board Arceon.
Brother Flex didn't make it.
Well,
Shakespeare went into most likely dissection. Most likely. And Wendy still walks.
like free, like around the station.
I implored to inform them that Wendy was infected, but it seemed to not matter. Since
Great.
then, no one has spoke. They have not heeded my warning.
Okay. Would you like me to get you guys out of here?
I was just gonna figure out the same thing.
There's nothing to figure out. They need to punish somebody, so
No, I mean, there might be a way out of here without even them letting us out, kind of thing.
Vince meant jailbreak.
Yeah. Vince is going to start just looking around. I don't think he's small enough anymore to fit his head
Definitely
through any
not.
of the, but he's just going to kind of poke around, put his hands on a lot of stuff, check great durability if something's super rusty, or just kind of investigate, I guess.
Let's see. I will call a survival check on that.
Okay. And am I still the same amount of stress I had from the prison
Yes.
scene? Okay.
Roll a panic.
All right.
Okay, you keep it under
Okay.
control.
Yep.
But you did get 1. 1 success tells you that this is very structural place. From what you can tell, you do not see any ways to get in and out except for the 2 grates. Now, if you're looking at the image in roll 20, there is down here at the end, way down the series of cells that does seem to like open up into a new space. So you can tell that's how far down you'd need to go to probably get out of this area.
Yeah.
This seems to be the grate at which they're going to put you in through. So this is locked. There's a locking mechanism on this somehow. Out of 1, you're not able to find out. You find a bucket. Well
Nice.
used, we'll say. And other than that, you can see, even if you were to go to the other side of this cell, it would have the exact same grate and another cell. You're kind of in the middle of a long row of these along this
Okay.
sewer system they've repurposed.
Man, this would be so much easier if we had our stuff. So, are we just gonna wait here?
I mean, I can call for them, tell them I want to confess or something.
I
Hey,
mean, I don't see any other options here. We got essentially two elderlies, a kid and a robot. Well, sorry.
Hold on. What are you're calling me an elderly? Really?
if Ren is elderly, Barden, I don't know what you are.
I
Vince,
mean,
we're
we're
the
about the
same
same
age.
age, but
It doesn't seem like it.
damn it. Guard! Guard, I wish to confess my sins or whatever.
You can roll a manipulation or a command check to see if you can get somebody's attention.
Oh, I'll do command. Clicky, clicky.
Now, it'll be extra hard because they don't really answer to you, but we'll okay.
Oh, fuck.
Nope.
Nothing.
Sorry, Ren. Nobody responds. Your voice echoes out as if you're in a rather hollow space, is kind of on the other side. But there is no response. I will say this, Kitchens, they have not checked on y'all, and the only time they've checked on you is to deliver this food, and that has been, like I said, what you estimate to be about 24 hours. So it doesn't look like they check on you very often.
Kitchens isn't saying anything, but he's waiting for panic to ensue, to capitalize on the panic.
Okay, what if we use something in here to leverage these rusted pipes? What about it then?
I
Is there a
mean-
possibility that the structure of it is compromised enough for us to take advantage of that?
Kitchens, aren't you like super strong? Aren't
No, I am not of that model.
oh,
Different model.
can you still operate a part of yourself if it's detached?
Can you?
Like, no.
I cannot.
Do we even know if they have surveillance in here? I mean, is there
I will say
anything
with the
around?
one you did not see cameras, Vince.
Ren would like to see if
You can
if
roll
she-
an observation. A survival will tell you something else, so I'll give you that choice.
one
a
for an
one.
observation.
No cameras that you can see from here.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I use survival to see if there is a compromise in the security of the cell?
Sure. That's kind of what Vince rolled for. Yeah, if you get more than
Oh,
one,
okay.
yeah. I mean, you might get more than one, so you might learn more than Vince learned.
Probably won't, but I'm gonna roll it anyway. No.
Basically, what Vince pointed out is probably what you see, that there's very little places where the structure of this wouldn't be absolutely solid metal. Most of it's covered in disgusting, like, mold, mildew, green algae, that kind of stuff.
Does it connect to any other like pipe systems though, or is it just a singular?
What you
Thing.
see is just one long, like, sewage tunnel that has these bars probably naturally in it to
Ah.
stop trash and stuff, and they've repurposed it into cells. So
Got
each
it.
chunk is its own, and each one has its own grate system down into it.
Okay, so nobody's responded, but Ren's just gonna kind of shout, "Hey, any other prisoners down here by chance? Anybody alive?
There's no response.
Of sound mind? Nothing at all.
Just your voice echoing.
Oh, well, maybe they just let us
So-
die off in here, and that'll be their version of trial."
Maybe. Well, here's something too. If we wait, I think one of two things will happen. That either they'll come back and then we'll go through whatever process they want us to go through, or if the worst really does happen on this station, then we might be in a situation where there's enough chaos that, someone will let us out because of our expertise, or we'll get eaten by something that acidifies the bars on the outside.
So extreme optimism or extreme negativity. Got it.
Right.
Cool.
Here's another idea. And Vince picks up the bucket Oh God, this smells. If we can detach one of the planks of this bucket or create a little, fraction of it and write a message, and then I point at the tunnel, we could send it down with the flow of water and hope that someone lets us out.
Message in a bottle style.
Yeah, except message on a bucket. Peace.
Okay, so you're proposing that we uh dismantle the ship bucket
Yes.
and
I don't
use
know.
it
I'm just trying to
to
come up with something.
send a message to the void that nobody may or somebody may or may not be. I'm just kind of working through the scenario here.
Yeah.
May or may not be there.
Yeah.
And then they break this out. I don't fence. I
So otherwise
appreciate.
we just sit here then.
Okay, or maybe we start a fire or any other number of various distractions to get their attention.
How can you start a fire in here?
Metal equals sparks equals whatever this shit bucket is that might catch fire. It might not though.
Pretty.
I don't know. Maybe the
pretty
fumes are enough.
damp. I won't use the M word, but it is pretty damp.
You mean moist?
Yeah, that one. Yes, it would be very hard for it to catch fire in this. There's not even like a piece of solid ground here to start a fire. And you don't have anything to start it with. That's unless maybe a piece of clothes, but even those are damp that you're
I have my
wearing.
scalpel.
What is this metal? Like what does this look like? Is this like aluminum? Lead? Is it brass? Are we looking at like
steel? This whole place is
steel?
made of like
Okay.
steel. Yep.
Okay. Given the conditions, does it look feasible? I mean, I understand that we have a bit of a hydration situation going on, but do the conditions seem to look favorable for creating sparks?
No, not. I mean, like, there's not even most of the metal is covered in like green and algae and moss and like damp, wet things that grow in the sewage. And to clarify for chat, it is technically an old sewage system. Clean water runs through it now, but there's only one place for prisoners to do business, so it is kind of a sewer.
What about the beautiful party basket they sent us with food and water?
Oh yeah, sure. Inside is probably some kind of dehydrated bread type thing, a couple pieces for each of you. And I imagine because they grow it here, there is some kind of fruit, like an apple, something that's like simple. Um and I imagine some kind of dried cured meat along with a canteen of water.
What's the basket made from?
It was wrapped in like piece of cloth and dropped down like a money bag.
Do we still have the thing attaching cloth?
No, they released it. They like dropped the bag down, and when you open it up, the inside of it is all the food in the canteen.
Dot, what's the canteen made out of?
It's a good question. It looks to be wrapped. It's like wrapped in a leather. But it looks to maybe be aluminum, something what we consider a soft metal.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be. I mean, it's made of a tin, probably like a tin camping cup.
Okay. I have three possible suggestions. One, we take kitchens around here and we just sort of hang back and wait for shit to go down, as the kids say these days. And I recommend if that's the option we choose, that you should probably limber up, get your muscles warm, because if we get out of here after shit goes down, we should probably run. That's option one in my head. Option two, equally feasible. We take that metal canteen, we slip it in through the bars up here, and we just sort of rattle it back and forth like a little baby. And hopefully that makes a bit of noise and attracts somebody over here. Option three, and only because I know that two of you are trying to escape, I don't like this option. And it takes volunteering consent from Mr. Kitch here, but I am fairly certain that the connectors in his optic nerve run a little bit longer than ours, and if we position him properly, I think I can surgically remove an eye and use it to look around up there, but only if Kitch allows that, and only as a last resort to no other plans. I vote for fuck around and find out. We just sort of hang out and wait for the Wendy lady to explode and an alien to eat everybody.
I think I'm in the same boat at this point.
Wait, okay.
I do like
Same
my
boat
eyes.
as in just sit back and relax
Well,
until
Kitch,
our death day?
To be fair, I'm fairly certain I can reattach the eye. I'm not going to sever the optic nerve. But I agree with you. I don't want to cut your eye out.
Or somebody could hoist me up, and I can look through, maybe. At least get some kind of a look-see, look around.
Would we like to remove Kitchen's eye or give Rin a boost?
Will Rin's head fit through one of those squares? So, okay.
You can get like some angles that maybe you can't from this, but
Sure.
honestly, you don't need a boost. You can just walk right up there if you wanted to, Rin, and like crouch and try to see. Based on the image, you could crawl up there. So,
Of the things that are present, is anything somewhat reflective on the surface?
you mean outside?
No, inside where we have like the canteen or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. You want to use it to bend the image. No.
Okay.
There's nothing shiny in here. Not even the tin canteen's really shiny. It's covered in leather, so.
Totally fine. Oh, okay.
Question, Dot.
You know what?
I know that they dropped us into this place, and
Yeah, they
I'm
did.
guessing it's from above, right?
They did.
So I know that it's a shuttering mechanism that it opens and closes.
Yes.
Now, how did they lock us in? How's it locked?
It does look to be locked by some kind of large bolt lock from the outside. Nothing technologically based because Arceon.
Sure. So then it's likely like a brass pad then.
Yeah.
Okay. Would I be able to do something that I did similar to last season and increase some power directly into my my burner in my hand and melt the lock?
How are you gonna do it? What do you have to do? Are you gonna just like rewire yourself?
Yeah, I'm just gonna short my hand.
Okay, and basically try to power up some fire.
Yeah, just enough to bring this bar down.
Oh, that's a whole different. Okay.
The lock, particularly, like because I think we might be able to rattle or even some more nimble arms. If it's going to come at the cost of my arm, I definitely want to make sure that it's valuable for us.
Okay. I will say this: if you sacrifice the arm, I would say you're gonna get through.
Okay.
That being said, it takes you quite a while.
Okay, then I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna like spill those beans yet.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. How about this? You can do it. You know that it will sacrifice the arm because you're going to overpower it for an extended period of time and burn it out.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one in the bank. Mostly because if I started doing it now, I feel like the fuck around and find out squad will go hard, knowing that this gate is open, and I just want to see what happens in the facility first.
Okay.
If I can save my arm, I will.
So, Rin, you peep about. What you manage to see is there is more open space. It seems like it's kind of like a large dome-shaped metal cavity, and it feeds down into this sewer system, and they have repurposed it. Where inside of Arceon it is, you're not sure, just based on the angles, but you can see that it's very, very open. But you don't see necessarily an exit, at least not from this angle. And as you wait, you all wait and you wait and you wait and wait. Another 24 hours pass. They bring you more food. They ignore any attempts for you to speak to them. By the second full day you've been in here, going on the third, there is no food delivered. They don't come at their usual time.
Should we wait another couple hours?
Have we heard no one else down here, or are we the only ones being held?
You have not heard anyone else. There was a rat that ran through, but you have not heard any other than the monks that deliver your food who ignore you and then leave. But they have arrived the same time the last 2 days. Day number 3, they don't come to deliver food. Do you all continue to wait?
Vince wants to wait for another 3 hours.
They still
Beyond.
don't show. Even late to deliver food.
It might be time to try other options. Well, we don't have other options other than my bucket plan. I'm going to start my bucket plan. And Vince will go down to the bucket and
Write a little note.
Yeah, go through the process of breaking it so a part of it's small enough to go into that little stream there, and scratch a note on it before he does that. And
you send it through, and it kind of bumps over the first gate, and it continues kind of going. It's moving rather slow, but you send the message.
Great. The message I send is, we didn't receive food in the prison. We're dying. Someone's hurt. Come help.
Oh, by the way, your second wound heals it has it's kind of like a scab now. It's scabbed over. So you're
Great.
good on your
Okay, back to 3.
After 3 hours they don't come. Does anybody take action?
I took my action.
Dot.
Yes.
This. Okay, so Kitchens and Barden have been all over Arceon. We've been quite a bit of places tracking down the mushrooms, the acupuncture. We've been to a lot of places. We've also been to Prison Ship 1, and we are under the assumption, based on information we have, that the floating trash freighters are prison ships. We have one. We were on one. This is not that. Correct?
This is not that. This
Okay.
seems like, based on just the like plants and the vibe, it feels like Arceon.
Okay. Based on what we've seen of Arceon, can Barden get a sense of where on the ship we are? Because sewers could be anywhere. It's a
Survival
space
check.
station. Alrighty.
Hey!
4 successes, Dot.
Okay, Barden. This water is running. So you have to think, where would water be running from? The reserve is on the top. Water runs down, which means more than likely you're actually somewhere near the centralized top area of Arceon.
Where is that in relation to places we've been? Like, where is that in relation to the docks or...
Vince and Ace
forest?
went up to the reservoir, the lake. You can imagine this has to be somewhere underneath. This would be like a maintenance tunnel, right? Somewhere underneath it. Did any of you go up that high? I don't think you did. Vince was the only person.
Okay. I'm trying to think, what can I do with survival stunts? I can just get +1 later to some related roll.
But I will give you. You asked two questions, so you get one more. You basically get a question per plus die.
Cool. I guess my other survivally based question is, this is running water.
Mhm.
Any amount of running water for a long time will corrode. And therefore, if this is constantly running water to keep a plant-based society living, what is the structural integrity of the bars at the water level? Because in this picture you have this, it does seem as though the water passes through the bars.
It's true. So like a lot of dungeons, it actually passes under them. See where the gap is there?
Mm,
It usually passes. The bars have a gap, and the water passes under it to avoid corrosion. That is kind of what this is. So, like what Vince did was he tucked the little thing underneath it, and the water flow goes under the bars.
How deep?
So it's like about what you see there. So 5-6 inches
probably
or
a couple
so.
inches, yeah.
Yeah, and so the water flow just keeps taking your little boat message under the current and then back up the other side, and it just kind of keeps pulling it.
Interesting. Okay. So you said we're in the center?
Yeah, you're gonna be somewhere near the center top,
Okay.
right? Because on the here, I'll take y'all back to this just so that you can see this. If we remember what Arceon actually looks like, this is the reservoir on the very top of the. Did I take y'all over?
You did.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, to the very top of the. So you're gonna be in one of these upper floors, no doubt. One of the subsections of one of these upper centralized floors under the reservoir for it to
Great.
be flowing like this, if that makes sense.
Okay. So my last question for forest survivals. What's up here? We know the reservoir's here. We know that per Vince, there's a little lake, a romantic little vista here. What else is in the top of the ship? Or the
That's a
top of the
very
station?
Good question.
Because we know where the
this
garden
high
is. We know
up-
where like
Yeah, so those are gonna be on these kind of lower tiers down here because the water's right as an aqueduct, so it's running down. So they want the flow for that purpose. The upper levels are probably gonna be like y'all are gonna be up in here somewhere in all this business, right? This dome area that we were talking about. So you're all in this area. Right directly below you or either directly above you is probably going to be the open area section for the windmills, which is used to create power. You know they're here. You just no, you did you see them? Barden saw them. They use them as like homes. Did you see them?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Then you would know that there are might have been seen it on a map or something, but there are windmill farms, and more than likely they're going to be near the top in an open space so they can actually get and catch air or atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Okay. So Barden paces around this sewer, right? And after like looking and poking a few things, he's like tapping on metal and he's like picking at the algae, and he stops and says, "Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I don't think that this is a sewer as we may believe. I think it's part of an aquifer transport. I think we're at the top. We're near the top of the space station. You said, Vince, you said there was a lake here. I think it funnels water in various places for the plants and all that stuff. I think this is a tributary of that. All that to say that the bulk of people do not fuck around up here. They're more towards the center, meaning that if the aliens have broken out, they're not going to be up here. So we'll be safe until we starve to death. Is where I'm going with that.
Speaking of starving to death, do y'all do anything on this day?
If we start to see signs of fatigue, like if they are visibly showing signs of fatigue, I will sacrifice the arm.
Okay. Today is the day all of you that are affected by dehydration, you are out of water, clean water. You will go ahead and dehydrate yourself for now.
Dot, remind us, what are the rules for starvation and dehydration? I know you can take a certain number of them.
Yeah, I see the little thing to fill it in.
Hang on, let me double check how that works.
It's like a little plus sign.
Well, I know there's a thing for you can go so many days without water and food.
And food, which you have all kind of maxed that out. Now they've been feeding you, but they've been feeding you very little. So you're not starving, you're just getting dehydrated. So basically what it does, it puts a condition on you that will affect certain things that you do. So if you're dehydrated, it may affect your stamina. It may affect other aspects of the game. And after a period of time of sitting in dehydration, I think it's like 3 days or something without solving it, you start to perish, basically.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yes. It starts to get really bad at the end of the 3rd day. They are going to die of dehydration and potentially starvation.
Fun.
Okay. If it does seem very obvious to me, then I We'll enact the removal.
You all watch
I'll
as
burn out the arm.
at the end of the day, Kitchen begins the process. Nobody comes even with the ruckus of Kitchen's burning out this arm, the smell of electrical fire, basically, as he starts to chip away at the brass plating that holds the lock in place. It's kind of an odd angle, and it will take a while. The start of day number 4. Kitchens has been going almost all night. Yes.
Dot, is there something Barden can do to aid Kitchens, either on a breaking down the lock level or a repair medical level on his person?
Well, the deal was that the arm would work as long as he lost it, so there's nothing you can do for the arm.
Okay.
If he wants to get the lock open, which he's going to, he will lose the arm.
Okay.
Or it will need to have heavy repairs done, which you just don't have the tools for here.
Sure.
There is no comtech to be able to be rolled here. There's nothing other, Kitchens has basically done the rewiring. It functions. Is there another way you want to try to help him?
Not that I can think of. Yeah, it was basically to make sure the arm isn't lost completely, but I guess it doesn't sound like it's lost completely. It's not like it's broken. It just needs to be repaired, and he won't be able to use it for a while. So that's fine. As long as he's not like a one-armed Kitchens from now on.
No, not it's not a forever thing. It's just like, it's like if you burn out some tech, you have to replace certain chips and wiring and all that kind of stuff to make it better. So it's going to be like that. I imagine whatever fake flesh is on it probably gets damaged as well.
He's walking around with a Terminator arm now.
Yeah, so basically under this jacket, after a few hours into day number 4, all of you have lost track at this point. You hear a snap as the final bolt of the brass plate kind of pops free. Kitchens, you can finally kind of turn off the electrical piece to your arm, and you hear it kind of as it shuts down. Everything kind of restabilizes in the rest of your body. So you're like, again, like I imagine it like turns off blinking and the fake breathing, all the things you don't need, kind of boot back in, and you become even more human again, but your arm is crispy fried. Vince, the hope that your letter would make it to someone was not in vain. Way down at the very end of the kind of tunnel where you can see it in the picture, past bars and bars and bars where it opens up at the end, there is a kind of beam or shaft of light that comes through, and you see a figure step in to it. It kind of puts them in a bit of a silhouette. It's like behind them almost, and their body seems strange, quadrupedal for sure, but it seems almost the way like an old person would kind of hunch. And it drags a leg behind it as it stops and looks at the ground, and it bends over and it picks up the wooden piece that you sent floating down your SOS, and it smells it, and it begins to kind of look around, and it drops it, and you hear it plunk into the water.
Vince just stares. And now you said it's still definitely quadrupedal, as in
it's
four
on
legs?
Meaning
That
it
would
has
be
four.
bipedal.
It has. Oh, you're right. Bipedal. It has 4
Okay.
limbs. I don't know what that is. It has 4 limbs. It's humanoid,
But standing up on 2.
but it's standing on 2 legs, kind of hunched
Okay.
over, and kind of like I said, the way an old person would like hunch, or a
Yeah.
back might get that hunchback vibe. It's similar, and it drags one of its legs more than another.
But as far as we can see, there's still like 2 or 3 sets of bars between us and this person, right?
Oh, there's more than that. They're probably 10 or 12. That they're way down at the end. It's like you see down the tunnel, just the silhouette of it do these actions.
I just give it a look and hear Kitchens break through that last bolt.
Yep,
And
snap. Metal rattles free. The gate kind of jumps almost as it pops free from the tension of those bolts holding it in place. And if you decide to look away and look back, it is gone.
That's weird. Okay, kitchens, did it work? It worked?
Kitch will take a moment, and his head will kind of turn to you, but there is no reaction. There's no motion, no face that you would recognize as a response before he draws the arm back in, and it's just fried from basically the forearm down. Um, Horrific burns. If this was a human, it would most assuredly be an amputee at this point. But when he comes back in, he pulls a few wires, and you hear this audible snap, and the arm goes limp by his side. And that's when you see the blinking return, and then it takes a moment before you see that palpable breathing.
Nice.
I think it's worked. I think it's worked.
I'm sorry about your arm.
Thank you. I
Kids, we'll get
appreciate
you
that.
fixed up. We'll get you fixed up as soon as we get back to the ship, buddy. got
We
spare-
should be
spare
thanking you.
parts.
Vince will go up and carefully try to push the grate.
Just roll me a stamina check. It's heavy.
2.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. It's worth it. You need to get out of here. And I imagine you kind of squat in that space and you use the kind of your legs actually to like push it up, and it does it like and it creaks open. The hinges being on this side. So it folds like back behind you.
Okay. And I'll kind of look up and side to side as I'm opening the grate and see
Roll
if
an
there's anyone.
observation, unless you have a special feature that allows you to like see things.
No.
What is that?
Ugh.
Love it. Roll a panic check. Okay, you keep it under control.
All right.
A reminder that you just saw something. You turn one way and then you snap your head to the other because that is the direction it was. And you
Yeah.
look around, your eyes don't see anything, and for a moment your heart skips a beat just in case it might see something. It is a big open cavity, like I said, kind of an arched dome type ceiling, and you imagine, based on just all the piping and stuff in here, that the aqueduct is above you. It's almost like being underneath like an ice rink or something like that. It's kind of that big concrete space, this one being steel, of course. And you can see there is like a watch desk set in the middle of this space, but that's about all that's up here. And then you see just like every 10 feet, there's another grate that goes into another cell, and it goes way far down. And then there's a intersecting hallway that goes left and right. And that would be, of course, the end where you saw the figure, right? That's kind of walked around the corner, if you would, or would be walking that way. But you don't see anything.
I help everyone get out, including Ace.
I'll say with the extra stamina, you're able to make sure the grate doesn't like slam or anything. You know what I mean? Like you ease it up and ease it back.
Okay.
So what is our next move then? Should we continue forward, or do we wait for all hell to break loose?
Who's to say it hasn't already?
I think we should probably figure out where exactly we are and head back to the ship. The reason we came here was to find information about Shakespeare, which we did. It was not very helpful. And to
get
find
the embryo.
And to find the embryo, which also we no longer have. So I see no.
I thought
more
we needed
reason-
the mushrooms.
We do.
Oh,
And that.
fuck me.
So we stop there first, take them,
Right. Yeah.
and
yeah,
leave.
Yeah, do that.
Otherwise, all of this is
Yeah, been a real fucking shit show.
no, it
okay.
would have been not worth it with the people that died. And I imagine there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Allow me to guide you out.
Kitchens, you remember the way you came in.
Dot, you said there was like a watch desk.
Mhm.
Vince will go over to see if there's anything he can pick up from it.
There's a set of left behind beads, black beads. There is a canteen half full of water.
I'll take both of those and
Yeah, okay.
I will make sure that Rin is hydrated. I'll hand the canteen to Rin.
Oh, that's all right, Vince. You can have that. I appreciate it.
Oh, because I'm really mean. I just want to know.
Oh, this will be fun. Vince will nod and open the canteen and smell it.
Okay, there's enough water for 3 of you.
Oh.
So
Okay.
one of you won't get water. Kitchens doesn't necessarily need it.
I will. Yeah. all
Rin
right,
is
so,
going to continue to refuse it, so if you keep
Okay.
trying to give it
Ace
to her,
won't.
she won't.
Ace will drink one.
Yeah, so I'll drink one too, and then I give the last of it to Barden then.
Old Barden. So those of you that drank, you can take away your dehydration.
And I give the beads to Kitchens.
A set of the black beads that those security monks wore. Seems odd that they always seem to be wearing them. Seems odd one would leave theirs behind.
Yeah. And
But who knows? Maybe it's just a spare.
Yeah.
I know we're on like the main Arceon station here, but the prison ship seems to have some sort of communication, and these monks, these black bearded monks, responded to it in some capacity. They were using
did.
communication as well.
And they were communicated with when they boarded your ship.
Yes. Is there any sort of communication in this desk for like relief or an emergency?
There
or
might be like a
medical?
short wave, what we would consider a walkie-talkie, like a basic broadband radio.
Yeah. Is it portable?
I imagine so. It is, but it's not like it's big, right? Like you'd have to take the whole radio base with you, but yeah.
Great. Barden takes the whole radio base.
Okay, we'll say it's probably military style, so it's got like a strap or a bag or something that you could like wear it with, but you'll need to note carrying it because it's not a small item.
Okay. That's fine. I don't have any of my other items on me, so my endurance is nothing.
Great.
So yeah, he has that, and it's on. It's on quietly, so he can listen to any.
And quiet, it sure is. There's not a lick of chatter.
Cool. Yeah, he'll like scan a few of the channels and then put it back to wherever it was, just to see if there's like any broadcasts on any other channels, anything like that, before just sort of having it with him.
You flip through, there seems to be just radio static, which tells you that the line is open, but there is no chatter on it.
Cool.
Dot, is there any lockers or prisoner belongings, some crates or anything?
Not in this room. That's not a bad spot.
Visible.
This is actually open. You'll have to go kind of up and around the corner. You need to leave this area. There's no rooms here. It's just one big open space that looks over the grates that directly into the like prison cells. So you imagine much like prisons, which I'm sure Ren has delivered many an outlaw to over the years. They're not going to keep their gear in the same space where they keep the prisoners.
Okay, yeah, Ren will be wandering to that area.
Okay. To try to just kind of find some stuff.
Yeah.
So you actually head in the direction, Vince, or Ren heads in the direction leading the group that you saw that figure just minutes earlier. And as you pass, each of you can look down the grates. You see a dead body, very covered in like moss and stuff. This person's been here much longer than you have, left to die. But you don't see a whole lot else in the grates. There's not a lot of people, which you can imagine based on all the trash freighters. That's where all the people go. It's a lot cheaper to keep them in cryo than say it is to keep feeding them and housing them and all of that. And as you make it to the end, a kind of half circle hallway, half moon shaped hallway, cuts this one in half. It intersects it. Left or right, they both look to go somewhere.
Can she look at the floor and see if there's any...
Oh, wait, Kitchens knows where we're going. You need to go right, Kitchens.
Okay.
Yep. Ren, you're leading the way. You roll an observation.
Okay.
Did I see where they dropped off prisoner belongings at all?
That's what I was looking for.
You would not have seen where they dropped them off. They would have taken them on board Arceon and on this level. You don't see anything.
I'm gonna re-roll that. I'm taking
Okay,
a stress.
take a stress and
Yeah.
re-roll. Okay,
One.
one success. As you round the corner, the only thing you see is
Oh, you're.
Dot,
Oh
you
no,
cut
we
out.
lost Dot.
oh damn it.
You're back.
Oh, and now it's
Oh,
back.
It's back.
Hello, hello.
Wait for it. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
The plank, the SOS piece of the bucket that has floated down is out of the water and is sitting on the kind of metal floor covered in moss and the usual for this kind of sewagey area. Kind of just
Ren
off to the
picks it up.
side. Yeah, as if somebody dropped it. Hey, you got an observation. There is a strange black viscous on it. It doesn't look like the viscous you've seen before. It's almost like rotting flesh. Black rotting flesh, as if like something that was rotting touched it, and when it dropped, it pulled a piece of the flesh with it.
Okay. I guess she'll use her scalpel to kind of scrape the flesh off.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. Let me make sure.
Vince, it seems somebody or something found your message in a bottle.
Jeez.
But I don't
And
know what this
so-
is. Does this look like anything to you, Kitchens or Barton, being the doctors and scientists here?
And it's what exactly?
It's kind of like looks like dark, kind of affected rotting flesh. It's kind of black around the edges and disgusting, and it's almost if like something that was rotting picked it up and dropped it, and when they dropped it, a piece of their flesh came off with it. It looks like a chunk of, but it's gross. It's real gross.
And this piece ended up on the floor of where guards would be walking around, like the common area.
It was on the plank that you say. It was on the SOS plank.
Right. But that plank we
Yes.
found, and
Yes.
that plank was not in some other person's cell.
Nope. It looks like whatever it was, because right here is where the water, it probably goes under your feet, right down to the next level. And so the water kind of stops here, and it looks like your plank made it and hit the end, right, all the way
Oh.
down, and whatever it was that you saw, what it been over and picked up was your SOS message. And Ren
Oh.
has found it dropped on the floor with this kind
Okay.
of flesh on it.
Vince will look for the tracks of whatever must have picked this up then.
Survival to pick up on
Okay.
its trail.
That doesn't look like anything I'm familiar with.
Nope.
Nope.
No, it does not. There's something about kind of the black ooziness of the blood and the flesh that makes you uneasy, Kitchens. And maybe even your eye twitches again from all of this stress that is new to you. But yeah, you've not seen that before.
Does it appear to look like something may have necrotized the tissue?
Yes. But what's interesting to you is it looks like you know what, roll a Medicaid check, medical aid check. Okay. Whew.
Oh my
I got
god.
nothing.
Dot,
On that many dice.
Dot, I would like to use my analysis talent on this, if I could, to roll an observation for strange encounters, if I
Okay.
could.
Go ahead.
3 successes. Everyone can reduce 1 level of stress.
So everybody reduce the level of stress.
So
Yeah.
I get to ask you questions.
Yes, you do.
The first of which is this human or alien?
That is a yes question.
Great.
Yes, it looks like human flesh,
I
and
could
yes,
read that.
it also seems alien to the point where it's as if the DNA itself of this piece of human flesh is being affected.
How old is this? Is this like a not the goo on the stick? But how
You mean
old
the
does
rotting
this?
flesh?
Yeah, how old does the flesh look? Like,
That's
is this a recent occurrence or
difficult. Do you mean how long has it been on the plank, or how long has it been rotting?
how long has it been rotting?
Couple days.
Cool. Okay. Um, one of the other suggested questions is, what problems could this cause?
I mean, would you like me to answer that question?
Kind of.
What
Oh, you cut out again.
Can't hear you, Dot.
prison vessel?
What she's telling us is like ancient secrets of the world, so the
Yeah,
mic keeps
yeah,
going
yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I should be back now.
You're good.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, my audio is just being so weird. Anyways, if anybody wants to buy me a new, mixer, let me know.
I can
So
send you mine.
what I'd appreciate it because I'm pretty sure this one's got a short in it. It's
Yikes.
the only thing I can figure. That being said, what problems could this cause? Well, if this is related at all to what happened on the prison ship a few days ago with all of you, you know that the DNA strand of this biological weapon that creates these xenomorphs, these creatures, these space beasts, is known, thanks to Kitchen's research, to evolve, to adapt. And in fact, it was your role, I believe, that told you on that prison ship that they are infected. You just don't know how or how it will manifest.
Cool.
So, problems it could cause you. There is a possible outbreak on board this ship, and you don't know anything about it.
Cool. Yeah, Barden, he without touching it, he kind of looks over the stick, and he says, "Okay, well, this got went from bad to worse, guys. So if you recall, a couple of days ago, I said it's about a 50-50 chance that everyone who got the embryonic goo on them was infected and could form a new embryo and have a new chest burster, and a xenomorph could come out of their bodies and all that good stuff. It appears as though at least one of the infected persons, how do I explain this, has mutated into not the aliens that we are familiar with. My guess is this is some sort of very strange alien human hybrid.
Great. So we made a hybrid alien.
Well, I mean, if we're stating facts here, Rin, you made it by shooting the embryo. So
Wait.
yes, yeah.
Huh.
It infected. Well, if we know that Mr. Flex is dead, I can assume it probably wasn't him, which leaves the tea lady and the ailing Shagsbeard. So one of the two, if not both of them, has mutated. So there is not a threat of infection. There is an infection here on this place. I don't know how big it is.
Kitchen says zero surprise for this. This is exactly what he anticipated was going to happen.
Maybe you guys already thought of this, but if we've created a new kind, what if, I mean, it would be great if this whole cordy, whatever, what is it called, Kitchens?
Cordyceps.
This cordyceps fungus was successful, but I wonder if these two different kinds of them will even get along. Like, what if we lived in a perfect world where we can capture one type and use it to eradicate the other type?
Spoiler alert there, Vince. We don't. We have a scalpel
I'm
and
just saying.
a shitty stick.
I know. But if the opportunity somehow arose
Yeah.
to capture
You,
one,
Kitchens, do you have any more glass vials?
I do not. Everything was taken from us.
Here's what I will say.
Give me the empty canteen.
Here you go. If I had to guess, the embryo that was created, as we have discovered, was one of the similar kind that was inside Kitchens and a various slew of other David models. They were highly engineered by David, the original himself. Those
are the precursor to the aliens at which we have seen, and therefore I think the genetic programming would be similar. This is a variant, a mutation, but I think the genetic code to hunt, eat, survive would be the same, and we are, minus kitchens here, squishing meat bags full of food juices. So I think it would eat us more than it would eat another alien.
One small
Rin
correction,
has
and
used the scalpel to gather up the flesh into the canister.
I'm sorry.
Rin, as you
Cannon.
begin to gather the sample, you realize that the sample is the kind of darkness, the rot is actively eating the living flesh. It like begins to rot away even more at the end of your scalpel.
No one liked that
Wow.
sentence.
Well, this is interesting. If I were a scientist, I would know what to make heads or tails of that, but it's rotting more. That's all I can tell. So, okay, hold on. Theory testing here. In non-sciencey terms, if something is continuing to rot, that means eventually it will stop being able to move, thus rendering it not a problem. Right? Unless then it's like shedding, it's like, oh, never mind. I don't want to think about that. Let's just keep going.
If it is an infection, Barden,
Mm.
infection spreads through all various forms of fluids from the body. And a decaying corpse is a very fast way to infect a very large area, especially if it's eating away at DNA.
Barden starts mumbling and walks away. And he walks back the way we came, muttering to himself, completely like in a fugue. And I'm walking back to the prison cell with the body in it.
Okay.
From what I can see through the grate, does that body look infected? You said it was like older and moss covered, but it's a sewer.
No,
so
it
moss
actually
can grow
looks
fast.
like natural decay. Most of what's left is covered, like I said, in like mushrooms or like sewage, moss, and algae.
Mhm.
They clearly wore a pair of the brother robes, so they were disbanded or were left down here for some reason. But they were part of the Brotherhood. They wore their same kind of brown robes that the majority of them have been wearing.
Okay. He strolls back to the rest of the group and he says, "Okay, well, that didn't check out. Sorry, I had posited an idea and okay."
He looks like he was decaying long before.
Judging by what you're saying here, Rin, and what I know of human anatomy in general, it's like a transmitted disease, and your saliva, right, could get like strep throat or like a blood or any kind of human-made fluid, and we're made of quite a bit of fluid. As I said, I think this area here is part of an aquifer, and so if there is,
So stay out of the water. Oh my
Well-
God, y'all drink the water. Oh
Well-
no. Oh
well-
no, no, no,
well,
no,
yes,
no.
yes, stay out of the water, but also
It wasn't a closed canteen, so it's less likely to be.
But,
Yeah, but Rin doesn't think about that. She's just thinking
but,
water equals bad.
More importantly, if this is in fact part of an aquifer of some kind, or a tributary, if someone were to delude human fluids that were infected, this aquifer feeds the rest of the ship.
That's what I'm saying. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, this is so much worse. This is
if
so much
could,
worse.
Could be
We'll find
innumerable
out.
people infected.
we'll find out how bad it is once we actually get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, Kitchens, what's the fastest way to get your mushrooms? Fungus, whatever.
You can either go, okay, that's a great question. Kitchens, there are two options. You can hope that they canned them up and put them on the docks, which is where you were supposed to pick them up, if you remember. They were supposed to have the package waiting on you. If it was delivered before all the shenanigans went down, it might still be there. The other option would be to go straight to the botanical labs and try to break into the holding facility or like the little container.
well, the brothers had informed me that the material that I had put in a requisition for it would be delivered specifically to our vessel. That being said, that was 3 days ago. It would be hard to tell if that is still there, if it were ever delivered at all, given our circumstances. Now, if I were to, so to speak, make my way to the botanical gardens, there's a high chance that I could speak to Cheryl, or I might just be able to break in myself. Now, it's a bit harder. I do have one arm, one functioning arm. I suppose I could try to pick up a space rock and punch it through the glass, but, well, it is a protected area. High likelihood of fiberglass. I do not think that the space rocks that are available on Arceon will go through at my strength.
Okay, so statistically speaking, what is the better chance of us getting the thing that you need?
Moving to the botanical gardens.
Okay, then that's where we will all go.
Yeah.
Would
All right.
I hate to be the one to suggest this because usually it results in death if what I've seen is true. Would it make more sense for the two of you to break away and get to our ship, get the engine started, or at least get us a shuttle prepared?
Me and Ace.
Or the three of you, I guess. Sorry, I forget Ace is here. She's so quiet.
Yeah, sorry, I'm quiet. I'm
I'll
useful
go
for
with
certain
Kitsch.
things.
I'll go with Kitsch. We'll find the Eve. What was her name? Cheryl. The Eve model.
Okay, what happens if you run into one of those flesh-eating, rotten corpses or something walking around? Then what?
Honestly, the same thing that happens to any of us because all we have is a fucking scalpel.
I just feel like I need to protect you.
With a scalpel
I mean, I can kick.
from the
Are
gooey
you
flesh
able to
monster.
kick?
I do yoga on a regular basis. I can kick. Look. And
We have supplies and weapons and things on our ship, so
right,
we
but we'll
could-
take a
You can't
shuttle.
leave and then try to come
We'd
back.
have to get
That's
a shuttle
that's a
out
bad
to the
idea.
ship to shuttle back in the amount of time. But if we can secure a shuttle, at least if Kitchens and I come in hot, the shuttle will be ready.
okay. I mean, all right. I mean, I don't see how time is that big of an issue other than it. Sure, it will get worse, but we don't even know what it is yet.
Other than the fact that it's been 2 days since we were served food, and it's a good likelihood that the contagious is in the water system that feeds and waters all of the food, plants, and people that live here. So everyone could be infected in theory. That seems pretty shitty. That seems like time is of the essence to get the fuck off of this ship.
Rin, as you're kind of all walking, I imagine slowly, trying to find your way out of here, following Kitchen's lead, you come across an unmarked door. This would be a really great place to put gear and things as you take off of prisoners. The door is
Does it
locked.
appear locked? Scalpel lock picking.
Sure. What does lockpicking fall under? Is that mobility or survival?
I guess it depends. Agility probably, right? So mobility.
Mobility.
'Cause
Yeah, I'll
it's
take a
like-
mobility to see if you can get in there.
All right, let me try this. I've never done this before with a scalpel, but who knows?
Now, as Rin begins to fiddle with the door,
One
begins-
success.
as Rin begins to fiddle with the door, it's taking a minute. It doesn't happen very quickly. The rest of you can roll an observation. Okay.
Dot is I hate to ask, but is this an observation that would be useful to spotting something like, let's say, a sneak attack?
Yes.
Great.
I'll give it to you.
I have an ability for that.
It's not really being sneaky. I just need to see if you. Okay. We have 2 panic checks need to be made. Pardon makes it.
And this will be the second time that I've pushed a panic on this character. I'm still trying to remember where that's at.
At the top, there's a panic button just near the top center of the
Thank
sheet.
you.
Top middle.
Okay. Strange, it didn't put any on your. Yeah, it did. It rolled 6. So you keep it. Both of you managed to keep it together, but just barely. Your hearts jump out of your chest as all 3 of you look to the left as Ren is kind of like jiggling and fiddling with the door. Down at the end of the corridor, much similar to the way you saw it earlier, Vince, there's a silhouette of a bipedal creature. It kind of and you can hear it breathing. Its arms seem a little elongated. Its back is like hunched and kind of malformed, and its head looks almost as if it's been put through a vice. It's kind of stretched, and it looks rabidly down at all of you. It's quite a ways away. It seemed to have maybe crossed the left you didn't take, and it sees all of you and begins running your direction. As it does, every once in a while, much like a gorilla, its knuckles will hit the ground to gain speed. Let's see. I will read it to you. This monstrosity is racked with painful cellular mutations. The creature has a bit of sheer rage with a deformed head and elongated limbs.
Oh, gross.
As every time its
Lovely.
knuckles hit the ground, it probably leaves behind a bit of flesh or something that sticks behind, much like before. And it comes running at all of you. Rin,
Do I get the door open?
the door clicks open.
And she opens it. Not paying attention to what's going on over there because she wasn't rolling observation.
I feel like everyone just barrels in after her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yes.
pours in the room.
Yeah.
What is happening? Why are you? What?
There's an alien
And
gorilla man.
slam the door.
I'm sorry.
Okay. We'll roll. As you slam the door behind Rin, and Rin goes, "What's going on?" There is the sound of heavy limbs as they smash the door. I will roll some dice with no success. The door doesn't budge, but you can hear it beating it like a kind of rabid animal might to try to get in, throwing its body against it. In here, it is a small room, about 10 by 10. The walls are lined with shelving units, and on those shelving units are boxes, baskets, a variety of found containers that hold collected items from prisoners of the past.
Rin is looking for weapons.
You find evidence, which is tagged, which is Vince's gun. It has what kind of gun was that, Vince?
I erased it off my sheet because I didn't have it.
You didn't
But
have it,
I
that's
think
okay.
it's a M4A13 service pistol, something like
So
that.
it's not. It doesn't have an ammo limit. Not really. It uses a clip.
I think so.
I believe. So I would say the clip is about half full from the events of the last endeavor. But Vince's gun is like there with an evidence tag kind of hanging on it, old school style.
Yeah, she quickly throws the clip in and like
lots of clothing. Lots of you know what, fuck it. Just because
Vince, you have your pistol back because Rin just handed it to you.
Okay.
I
Yeah, I'm looking
will-
up right now exactly.
Can't have that because
Two
Stats
bonus,
for it.
1 damage, medium range.
Okay,
Zach.
great.
Shuffle these. Can't have that because it
Here
can't
we
possibly.
are.
Okay. In addition, you find 2 more confiscated weapons. They haven't been cleaned in a while. What you find is, I'm gonna make these big so I can freaking read them. You find another service pistol. This M43A service pistol. So there are 2 of them. Vince's is very clearly, but there's another one. And you find this pulse rifle.
Pulse rifle.
The,
What kind of
the,
ammo
Ar-
does that take?
the Armat M41 Alpha.
Yes, this Armat M418 pulse rifle. You don't find that though. Actually, wait, is this what I think it is? Because I might give it to you. Because I have, yeah, okay. You also find 1 incinerator unit. Yeah, you find one incinerator unit. That's what I will tell you on that front.
What does that do for damage or whatever? I don't know.
It is a fire. It's like a hand fire gun. It does it's medium range. It does 2 damage. And its fire intensity is 9.
Okay.
That makes a difference.
9.
Writing it down.
9. So those are the 3 weapons, since that's what you were looking for, that you found here.
Okay. I guess Rin. So the pulse rifles, like Meta doesn't know what that is exactly. Like, what does it do?
It's a energy cell weapon. It
Yeah.
has a
Okay.
bonus of +1, damage of 2, long range. It is also armor piercing, has the ability to go full auto, and has a grenade launcher, but it clearly has no grenades with it.
It doesn't have any grenades in it, but there,
Obviously.
you do have it. So basically, the difference is the service pistol uses bullets. The pulse rifle uses a pulse shot, which is kind of like a laser or energy weapon.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's a service pistol here. Do you want that, Barden, or kitchens? Ace? Incinerator as well?
Ace is not bad with a gun. Though, oh no, I lie. You don't. She's better off using her hands.
These are alien goo monsters. No one's better off using their hands.
Well, she doesn't know that.
Barden will tell. Hey, everyone, take a gun. Barden will take the flamethrower.
Okay. There's a spare service pistol and a pulse rifle. Brendiz, are you taking the pulse rifle?
I think so, yeah.
Yep. Zach's got one. Kitchens, do you want the other gun?
I don't.
Oh, then I guess it will get picked up by
Ace.
Ace, though she's
gotta
not
have
a great shot. Yeah, she'll take it.
But is there ammo?
Yes, it has a clip as well.
Okay.
One, but it has a clip.
Yeah.
Do we need to keep track of bullets?
In this case, I'll just say you may be limited. So, like, I'm only going to let you fire it a couple times before yours is out because yours is half empty. This one's a full clip, so it would go maybe 2 combats instead of 1 combat. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. All right.
Yep, the best way in Alien to make things worse is dad firearms. So there you go. You did find a couple things. In here's also like some clothes, what would be considered maybe some band technology, like yeah, let me see what kind of band technology would be in here.
For the record, Rin is covering most of her body in the clothes just in case.
Okay.
So like only thing that's really exposed is like the top of her head and like from the nose.
Yeah, so kind of wrapping yourself. There is no like body armor proper in here, I will say that. But
Yeah.
Now as you're all searching and looking, the banging on the door does not cease.
Yeah, I would say seeing Rin and knowing himself, Barden would also tell everyone else to do the same. Is like make some sort of wrap for your face, your nose, your mouth, cover as much skin as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, Rin is like ripping cloth into strips so you can do like actual like wrapping kind of thing, right? So.
Knowing that, I will say everybody that wraps their face can plan to receive when you have to make a check soon, a stamina check. You'll get a +1 to it.
Okay.
Which I promise you're gonna need. What are you doing about the thing outside this door? It's gonna make another attack.
Is there a way to barricade it with the things on the shelves, or is those attached?
Yeah, you could use the shelves.
Okay.
But again, there's one way in and out of this room, right? It's like a closet.
Does the door swing into this closet or out?
It swings in. And so far it has been very unsuccessful at getting through. I mean, this is where you keep firearms on a ship where you're not supposed to have any, so it's probably a heavy lead door or something.
So what Rin is doing is she's setting up essentially like a funnel space so that we can fire the weapons through the shelf openings, but it can't get further in. Because it's a 10 by 10, basically using
the 2 shelves
leverage,
to kind of
yeah.
Okay. Just roll me a stamina check, not with the +1 to move all of these things around and get the door the way you want it.
Okay. Negative. Okay. I mean, I don't have it.
Anybody want to help Rin?
Vince is waiting to hear what band technology is in the room, so he's probably rifling through that stuff.
Well, you'd find your tape recorder, which does have acid damage.
Right. Yeah. I'd probably just leave it.
Anything you'd find all your stuff. So anything they would have taken from you all that you did manage to slip on board, you have.
That was the only 2 things. So
other band technology might be let me think about some tech.
Like
okay. They're okay, yeah. It's going to be there will be some medicine in here because they're a little bit herbal remedy friendly. So
Mhm.
some of these higher end medicines,
Some drugs.
some drugs, that they would have confiscated from somebody. I wanted to give you an actual list of them, but I'm not doing a very good job of finding them. Here we go. You would find what is known as a long data disk. So somebody had some information that they didn't want out. You would find no, you wouldn't find that. Pharmaceuticals, here we go. You'd probably find one of the pharmaceuticals. What are those things? The Navaprine. There's a single Navaprine. That's the one that reduces stress.
The nap relief.
Nap
Yeah.
relief.
Nap relief.
Nap relief. That's it. And you'll find a set of never sleep pills.
Okay. Does someone who uses nap relief have to like roll a medical aid check to use it, or
No,
can anyone
just use it.
administer
It's an
it?
injection.
It is just an injection. It's
injection.
like,
All right,
yeah.
I'll hold on to it then. I'll
Okay.
hold on to all that stuff.
And you know what? I'll say you did find a piece of technology. You found a maintenance jack for
Oh,
somebody that wants to
amazing.
carry it. I'll give you that to you as well.
I'll take that too.
Rin, we're gonna see. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll try. With Ace's help. Nope. They can't. The shelves are too heavy to move as it currently stands. Unless somebody else can roll a successful stamina to help you move it.
Is there a way to leverage anything else in the room? Like maybe take one of the shelves off of the stand to like help kind of shimmy it?
That you could do, sure.
Okay.
You're just not gonna have. You would have had a better barricade with the full shelf than say the one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Take what I can get.
Yeah, hey, I hear you. So yeah, you're able to do what you need to without having to roll again. But you don't necessarily get the whole shelf. You just get part of it in place, which doesn't add as much barrier for you. Now, what is the plan here?
Wait, we have a flamethrower, right?
You do, with one canister.
With one canister.
Yeah.
Does it seem full?
Yes.
It does seem full. Okay. Could we have gauged about how large this figure was? Were they about, average human height?
Yeah, with their elongation and the hunch, they're about average human height. If they stood up tall or their body wasn't kind of augmented and like gangly, they'd actually probably be a little taller than the average human, like lankier than the average human.
Okay. And the nose of this incinerator unit is this like a napalm? Does it fire out in a spray or a straight line? Like
it'll be like a straight line. It would cone out at the end the way fire's going to, because it's going to reach to grab something.
Sure.
But yeah, it's going to come out of the center of it in a very narrow kind of tubing. It's not going to spread wide immediately.
What's the door made of?
It is a lead door.
The lead door.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Okay. Is there a gap beneath the door?
We're on the same page.
There's not a gap beneath the door.
No, this is kind of built almost like a safe because it keeps all these weapons and stuff in it, which they don't want people to have.
Yeah. Are any of us making a noticeable amount of noise?
You are not. The creature on the outside slamming its body into this door is. Speaking of,
but any of our allies, are they making noise?
Ace is not.
No, I mean,
Oh, my friends.
God.
My friends. Bang, bang.
Wow.
You get the thing in place. So I will say the door does not open because you did take measures to put something there, but it does slam its body once more. And as it does, the door bends, it arches, it creases, and it eats open. And there's a space about this big, and you can see its gangly hand and arm are trying to squeeze through, ripping the disgusting flesh off of it as it tries to get at all of you.
Barden, I think maybe a little fire is.
Point to Barden. Firearm.
Barden puts fire one time on that fucking guy.
Okay. It's just gonna roll for its natural armor. Because you don't have to aim. It's right at the door. It's like blocking your path. None of its armor succeeds, so it does full damage.
Which is 2.
Which is 2.
Thought there was a bonus of 2.
There's no bonus on the.
There's
Oh.
no bonus, but it is susceptible to fire.
Oh, that's right. That's
Uh,
right.
Which
and
means
that-
it does double damage.
It does double damage. So it actually does 4, and it catches fire, and you hear it kind of scream out as it backs off of the door, and you're watching its whole body, like it's in one of those Hollywood fire suits, like goes up in flames, and the disgusting flesh on the outside begins to burn, and ember and smoke. And it's kind of slams its body against the wall, and it's like flailing about in an unnatural way as it's like screaming and hollering.
I think this is probably our only opportunity to get the hell out of this closet.
Yeah.
Can we
Um,
like shimmy through?
Yeah, you want to undo the door and try to slip out? I need a mobility check from everybody to not get touched or grabbed or burnt, set on fire. Okay. It makes it.
What is my rolls today? I'm re-rolling it with the
I was about to say,
stress
make sure
added.
you take that stress before you re-roll it. Kitchens
Oh
makes it.
shit! He takes
1.
so much more damage than 2. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, he takes a lot
Okay.
of damage. How much is it?
Hold on. He, so he takes 2 damage right off the bat of just painful bad time damage. And then he takes. You roll for fire intensity. You roll a d6 for every level of fire intensity.
How
so
many?
nine,
How many? What's the
Nine.
intensity?
9d6.
9.
And for every 6, you take fire damage and are on fire.
So
So
another
he
6.
takes one additional point of damage and is on fire. So for him it would be
Right,
2 additional
so
points of damage.
2
and-
additional points
and
of
is
damage
on
on top
fire.
of the 2. So it was 4.
It would be 3
2
doubled
doubled.
because he's weak against
Yeah.
it. which
Oh,
would be
I
a
see.
6
so it's
6
6.
total. Yep.
Okay, it's still alive technically, but not as much as it was, as it still flails
Wow.
about. Did we get Barden's roll?
Oh my god! If you take damage, you catch fire and continue to burn, and suffer another attack at the start of each new round.
Yep. So it's on fire. You don't have to hit it again.
Yeah, it just keeps fucking being on fire. I just have to keep rolling to be on
Dude.
fire.
Roll a
Sorry,
roll your
mobility?
mobility.
No. Barden
You
has
like
a heavy
to
ass.
push.
Yeah. You know what? I'll push. I'll take a stress and push. 1 success. Cool.
Everybody manages to slip by as you kind of back against the wall and slide past it as it's like screaming and hollering, and it keeps reaching for all of you. Its melting flesh is like keeping it almost pinned to the wall in a certain way. As it kind of screams out, and as the flesh drips off of it like thick clay.
Like fat.
Yeah,
from
like
a
fat,
bacon.
exactly, hot, fat as it drips to the ground. You can see that it, the DNA kind of consumes itself, and almost the way Kitchens, the fungus that you found, the fungal mold, poofs that black stuff in its death. It begins to kind of, you can see that same thing happen. It like lets off an infection into the air. But you all make it down the hallway, and it tries to scutter after you. On its second turn, it burns alive, and its body kind of goes crisp in the hallway. It's still simmering and smoldering.
Okay, so that seems to be a need for urgency and time, right? Yes?
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree.
Okay. So
I'm also inclined not to separate from whoever has that thing. I look at the flamethrower.
yeah.
Still got that little flame at the end, you know.
Doesn't,
think we
doesn't
should
take a
all-
lot of skill to aim this thing.
Should just go together, in and out, all at once.
I want somebody to make a roll.
No doubt.
What was that?
I'm thinking to myself.
What a wonderful
Um,
world.
Everybody was there when they told y'all not to go in that middle room.
Yeah.
The metal room.
The
one that
door,
I went
when
into.
Everybody was there for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And they told all of you were there for what is said to be housed there, because you asked why they can't go in, and they said what was in there, correct?
Yeah, like the engine core
Okay.
or whatever.
As you are running away from this thing, and it screams into its death. Barden, you're the scientist.
That is
Well,
true.
technically Kitchens is too, but I guess you're the rock scientist. So
Uh,
it make
That is also true.
they said that the atmosphere of this ship is controlled by the machinery in the middle room. There is no machinery, but there has to be an atmosphere because people aren't floating away on the top deck. The only way that there could be a natural atmosphere so that this place doesn't
Is
vent
to spin the ship.
is a natural atmosphere. All of the trees, all the greenery, they've created a natural atmosphere and ecosystem, which means if it fails at any point, so does the atmosphere. It also means that they have high exhaustive levels of oxygen. There's probably a very good reason why you've not seen a lot of fire on this ship.
Oh, shit.
Run. Kitchens leads you down to the elevator shaft, which as soon as you kind of round into a more public space, you can see the leftovers of combat. Blood splatter here, claw marks there, something tipped over, crates not the way they're supposed to be. But you do not see any dead bodies.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this is way worse than my nightmare. Okay,
Yeah.
now which way?
Dot.
Yeah.
I have a science. I have some science for you.
I will do my
you
best.
Tell me what to roll here.
Okay.
I have spent quite a bit of time figuring out the aliens. I also spent quite a bit of time observing them over LV-423, right? I understand that they are hive-based. I understand a lot of David's research. If I am to believe that the human-alien hybrids behave at least in some way like the xenomorph we're familiar with, they would likely be constructing some sort of hive, some sort of home base. And likely the ones we've seen are stragglers looking for whatever. Where on Arceon do I think would make the most suitable habitat for a hive?
You know that the best place for any hive or egg growth is a warm, damp place.
It should be the botanical gardens, Dot. You fucking shit ass.
And guess where infections grow the most?
In
Warm,
botanical
dank
gardens.
places.
Especially where fungus and mushrooms grow.
Loofahs. That's my answer.
Loofahs.
The shower.
Yes, Kitchens is also correct. A nuclear reactor is not a bad guess, but they said they don't have one on this ship.
Barden mumbles a little bit as he is wont to do, and then eventually just realizes present company and present stress levels and just shuts his mouth.
I will say this, based on what Barden or what all of you know, if that's the case, that a warm, damp place is going to be it. There are a couple places on board Arceon. Could be the bathhouse. It could be the botanical gardens. Not a bad guess there. The only other place might be like a kitchen, somewhere where fire would be regular, that it might be kept warm, that you know that the food, I think I told you, was done in the very large style, kind of family style kitchen, longhouse vibes. So that might be the other place, but your first two are a better bet.
Yeah. Realizing that, Barden like goes to tell everyone, and then he just stops. We're gonna figure it out sooner or later. No reason to add more stress to the fire here. And he just sort of shuts up and continues running with his flamethrower.
Is the plan to head to the botanical gardens, like to the greenhouse?
If that's where Kitchens is going, that's where Ren is following.
Ren,
same.
or Kitchens kind of leads the way. Because I'm such a bad GM here at the end, I'm gonna use a darkness point, leaving me one more for next week. As you round kind of the area, and you're gonna have to take the stairs because the lift is down. And you kind of weave through these dark steel hallways, taking the stairs, which are narrow and not quiet at all. And as you get to the floor where the botanical gardens are housed, the sign says so, and you open it up. On the inside of all of the many rooms on this whole level, which is both research, growth, farming, all of that happens in this area. You can hear behind lots of walls and doors and windows, even the sound of coughing and sickness. It sounds like a plague alley. Some things sound more natural and some more unnatural than others. Things claw at the walls, stuff bangs on doors, and you make it to the entrance of the botanical gardens, this kind of glass pane door. And as you step up to it, it slides open.
Sure, that mask is on real good.
Everybody pulls their mask up really tight. The air is filled with black particles, like debris, the way ash might sit in the air, but this is not ash. The plants seem mostly unaffected.
I don't know about this. She says in a low-toned voice.
And at the very back of the room, near the case that these highly contagious or volatile mushrooms are kept in, is the figure of or a person, and they have their back to you and their face kind of stuck in the corner, and you can see them like breathing heavy and weighted, almost a rattle in their chest cavity of decay. They haven't noticed you yet.
Kind of see if I can start slowly pushing everyone back away from the door so that it slides back closed.
It does.
Can you connect to this radio band if you were to go back to our vessel?
It's shortwave, so yeah, as long as they're within a radius, I imagine they could.
Wait, now we're going to go back to the vessel?
I won't die or be infected. I can't die. Well, I suppose I can be destroyed, but I can't be infected. Every passing moment that you breathe inside of that cloud, you risk infection and death. You could at least go back to the docks, reach the vessel, and inform me if the cordyceps were delivered there. Sync to this broadband channel and let me know. If it's not, I'll go in alone.
Wouldn't it be better if you just went with us and then if we have to go back, we'll go back?
I reiterate, each passing moment increases the chance of each of you becoming ill.
No, I understand that, but what if they're there and then we have to wait for you to come back?
I suppose it's a risk.
And then if it's not there, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna go in there by yourself?
Yes.
Nah.
I mean,
You have one arm. How are you gonna defend yourself if one of those things comes after you?
I
I
mean,
can get in a spacesuit. I could come back. I could help.
And I could pretend to be dead.
What?
I don't breathe. I don't blink. I don't even have a pulse.
I think the only thing we can be sure of is that we can't be in here. And Vince makes sure, we all back up and are not breathing black spores at the moment. And Vince will say, I'm with Rin. Maybe we can go get suits and come back and help you. So I think some of us should head back to the ship, but
I mean, they have to make repairs on things, right? They would have some kind of suits and oxygen, something.
I
And
say
Kitchens brings up a good point. Synths can't be infected. Where are all the synths?
Where do you think Brother Timaeus is? Brother Anthony?
I don't
Cheryl?
know. Probably happy that all the people are dead. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
or with the survivors. But Kitch, if you want to
Right.
stay here while we go back to the ship, I trust you. That's fine with me.
I don't see another option. I see accountability for actions and reactions. Yes, I am down an arm. It's never stopped me before. And I
Vince
don't
will,
need that much. I could just use the satchel. I can remove this pack, and he kind of pulls the shortwave radio. I could use this side satchel. Pull as much as I need. I only need one arm.
All right. Well, if we're gonna go, we're gonna go.
Ace says, I think we've lingered too long. And you hear one of the doors just up the hallway a few feet to the left that's closed. There's that loud bang again, and she jumps a little bit.
Fine, we'll go back. I'm getting the suit and I'm coming back here, Kitchens.
I'll be waiting right here by this.
All right.
Okay.
And so the party separates.
Barden takes off the radio satchel and like gives it to Kitchens. And as he like unloops one arm, he also takes the strap of the flamer with it as well, the flake and bake as it is, and puts them both over Kitchen's head. And he says, "All right, it's pretty simple. You just kind of point. You only need one arm for it. There's no kickback on it. You just point at it, click the button, and you roasted some aliens there. So."
I don't know if that's a great idea.
Yeah, well,
I
give a
don't
shit.
either.
So you're gonna
I-
take that, and if an alien comes to get you, you're not gonna get all kinds of goo in you. If I'm not,
Right,
if I'm not
but-
here,
Barden, what about us?
you got guns.
And
You mean we, right?
Yeah, the
And
three
you
of
can
you
move
got
carefully.
guns.
move quietly.
Yeah.
But
You don't
I
have
don't-
many choices.
Listen, I'm not gonna leave my buddy Kitchens here undefended. Yeah, sure, he doesn't.
right.
He doesn't
I
breathe.
say
He
we
doesn't have a
give.
heartbeat. But you know, you gotta have something.
I'm
Ah.
just afraid that if we use a gun out in the middle of the station and make noise, that we'll get swarmed. And it's likely that he would too, but I think he fares a bit better getting swarmed than we might.
So
That's why it matters. That's why I think that you should go. You're
Plan
right. I don't have a heartbeat, but my heartbeat is yours. The three of yours.
Plan A.
I need
run
you to go.
fast.
Ace does not hesitate. She kind of pulls at Vince to like, let's start moving. Well, we can get the ship ready. We'll radio it. It's a perfect plan.
Vince goes to
Kitchen smiles.
exchange. Vince goes to exchange his pistol with the flamethrower and sees if Kitchens would take the exchange or wants to keep it.
I don't see that being very useful to me. If it would make you
Alright.
feel safer, you can take it. I'm not a very good shot. At this point, I can at least follow a sprayed line.
All right. Do you want to keep the flamethrower?
I would be happy with the three of you walking away with each of the firearms.
All right.
Okay. And so
Let's just
off
not
the
make
three
any
of
noise
you
then.
go. Who is rolling the mobility check for stealth for the group? I'm gonna let one of you do it.
I would love to.
Go ahead. Okay. Do me a favor and roll a panic check. Okay, you keep it under control. We will end with this. The three of you run off. Back down the stairs, you have to keep going. Another floor and another floor. And when you make it to the kind of deck or the level with all of the transportation, as you open the door from the stairwell quietly, you can hear the sound of mass chaos. People screaming, and not sick screaming, like actual activity happening. And as you round the corner, your heart jumps into your throat. As I imagine you kind of mom are the group to not come around the corner. And what you see are the station's, what's left of the monk force, the actual like combat force of the vessel. All these white robed monks or white suited monks with the black beads are in physical hand-to-hand combat because they don't use weapons, in some kind of very highly trained martial arts, and they are fighting off a horde of these strange, disgusting creatures. This far into all of this, there's only about 20 or 30 of them left, and their hands and their feet are extra bound so that they're not touching them with bare skin anymore. You witness them fighting, and one of them turns and goes, "Oh no, he's gonna explode!" And one of the more gangly creatures, even worse than the one that you saw down in the basement, you can see that it's got large patches of skin that have kind of darkened and flaked away. Muscle tissue and ligaments follow suit, and their bones have grown kind of brittle. You can hear them crack as they punch them. The body is in full decay. And you watch as this guy goes to punch it, and as he punches through air, as the body kind of disintegrates. And as it does, it poofs into this black cloud. And a few of the monks dive and kind of cover their faces, and another one gets caught right in the middle of it. And you see him kind of breathe it in, and as he does, in kind of a panic, he begins to like cough and hack. The creatures stop attacking him and then turn back to more of them. It seems like you just witnessed the final phase of this infestation, this sickness. And this combat is happening near some naturally built barricades that have been put into place that go down and into the docks. The camera cuts to Barden and Kitchen standing outside the Botanical Gardens doors. Do you do anything?
Oh no, Barden left because that's what everyone was telling him to do.
Oh, okay, to go with.
He gave him the flamethrower, so Barden just has nothing.
Got it. Okay. And Kitchens, do you wait or do you go in?
Is it a straight shot?
It is a straight shot all the way to the end of the room, down one of the middle aisles.
Is there anything in the path?
You can roll an observation to see if you see anything out of the ordinary.
Sure, I'd like to. Two successes.
That creature at the end does not look as infected as the one, or the person at the end doesn't look as infected as the one you saw downstairs. So it must not be in as far along in its transition, I guess.
Yes.
You do not see any bodies in here. And I will give you, based on this observation and your smarts in science, that the reason that you don't see any bodies in here is because they disintegrate entirely over time. So the flakes and things in the air, those are the people. Those are the bodies.
What is the floor made of, Doc?
Probably like medical grade steel or whatever they put in like medical rooms, like clean finish.
Perfect. I am going to put this is going to sound bizarre. I'm going to put the shortwave radio on my chest and stomach. Yep. I'm going to walk into the room, lay down on my back, and I'm going to use my feet to push myself across backwards. Yes.
I love this. I'm also going to have you roll a mobility check.
You got it.
No, it's not your best, but
it's not my best.
Okay, roll a panic. Okay. Ooh, an 8. Is this the same? Okay. You slide across the floor, and as you do, this far down now, as you look left and right, under the tables that sit up off the floor with the plants and the growth in this greenhouse, you look left and right as you're scooting on your back across this floor silently. And your heart can't jump into your chest, but something happens. Because you do see down the aisles between the legs of these plants, the kind of leftovers, the final round of these people as they're beginning to disintegrate and add to the volume of floating mass in the air. And there's quite a lot of them, and your body begins to tremble. It begins to shake a little bit. You've never felt fear, not at this level. And there's something about this new mutation that's almost exciting. A new piece to the puzzle, a new organism to study. You are going to suffer right now a -2 to your agility until this panic is kind of put under control.
Okay.
But you are going to be able to slide across the floor as far as you need. How far are you going?
How if I can slide up to the door, then I will.
Yeah, you can slide all the way back up to the wall. The creature standing
Mhm.
that is like panting in the corner is just to your right. It's like this box sits in the center of the wall and it's
Yes.
facing the corner just to your right about 5 feet.
Okay. Is this a motion swing door or
It's not a door. It's like it's a casing hanging on the wall that has the mushrooms in it.
okay?
And they're like locked up. It's like a case.
Were there other creatures here, or was this the only one?
This is the only one that is not officially in final stages of decomposition. So it's still on its feet, like panting. It doesn't look like it's in the stage of the one you saw in the basement. That would be its next phase, if you would. It seems to be early in the transition, so this person might have been uninfected until recently.
Okay. And you said that this is locked.
It is locked. It is locked. Remember, what's his face? Had the key, and you had to be given permission to get it out.
Sure. Is this person? Is this someone that I'd seen? Is this an individual that I'd seen working in the botanical gardens?
Oh, that's interesting. It was somebody that was probably here that day, just one of the tech hands or help for the gardens, one of the gardeners, the green thumbs. You know, because there are green beads around their neck, which signify they work in the agricultural section of the station.
Sure. Where's Cheryl's bench?
Just nearby, like her desk is just off the side because she manages the fungus, and they're all in these cases on the wall. The one you're looking for is in a special case locked.
Okay. I want to check that desk.
You slip over, roll an observation. I'm gonna let you keep your stealth because so far it hasn't noticed you. And you're not human, so it can't smell you, you know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, yeah. You go in Cheryl's desk, sure enough, there are a set of keys. You don't know if they'll work, but it's worth a shot.
Okay. Are they all the same kind of key? How many keys am I looking at?
About 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Which matches about how many cases there are locked on the wall. Not all of
Okay.
these are locked.
Are they numbered?
Sure. They have some kind of signification, maybe by number or color.
Okay. I'll match the color or number to the order, and I'll open the lock.
You probably have to stand because it's high on the wall, and as you creep up and you unlock it, sure enough, the case, as it kind of folds back the way a bread box does, almost like into the wall, the lid does, there's a light like of hiss of pressure that lets free. And as the kind of mist clears, you see that the location, the tag for the mushroom that you're looking for, the area where they are growing, other than the like core spores, they've all been picked. They are gone. And just because I need to check this, they do not hear you. You watch it kind of reach up as it's almost shivering, like it has a fever in the corner, and it reaches up to scratch, and as it does, a piece of flesh falls and splats to the floor.
And Cheryl is nowhere to be seen.
Nope.
And all the cordyceps are gone.
They are all gone.
Okay. That's less than thrilling. Less than thrilling. I'll walk. I'll walk out.
With stealth or without?
Without.
Okay. This is interesting. As you walk out, you're still a little shaky from the panic from earlier. And the door opens up, and as it opens, the creature hears this time. Maybe it's a click of a shoe or just a button on glass. Who knows? But it turns and it sees you, and you can see it kind of like growls, looking a little bit more human, but very sick, kind of emaciated and pale, and like it's fighting the worst kind of flu of its life almost. And it kind of lunges towards you and begins to kind of jump over the bins as the glass door shut. What would you like to do?
Can I stop that door from being opened? Can I short it?
Yes, how? There's like
Um,
well, actually it's funny, it is electric, so there would have to be a minor keypad for this one.
okay.
You know what? Because I'm a kind GM and you took Cheryl's keys, I would say that her key card is also on it.
Great. Then I will simulate the slide and set it to lock.
Just roll a Comtech check.
You got it. I'm not bad at that. I don't think, anyway. There it is. Boop. 4
Okay.
successes.
Yeah, you beep her card and immediately it gives you kind of the panel of options, and you put it on kind of a bio lockdown, which is the quickest option. The door slams shut and you hear the lock kind of engage right as this humanoid thing smashes into it. And as it does, you really get a good look at its face, and you can see the bloodshot eyes and how much pain it's actually in. And at one point you think that it mutters, "Help me," before it begins banging on the glass again after you. And then down the hallway, one bang leads to another, and more creatures begin banging on doors and walls from other facilities here inside of these greenhouses.
Kitchens would just walk out.
Every door banging, the creatures going wild, locked inside, slowly decaying to their own death. Kitchen slowly walks away to catch up with the rest of the crew. And we will find out next week what the humans of our party are going to be up to facing this large battle.
We're gonna sneak right by it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. I almost would have preferred to stay. Cool. Mobility is Barton's dump stat. That's all right. Well, that went places. Dot, I just want to mention, when we said we want more aliens in the after show, this isn't what we meant.
Well, I provided based on your requests.
Yeah, you sure did. You
I'm
sure did.
satisfied.
I don't think anyone expected this. Gross. Cool. That was an episode. Let's go around, do our introductions so that we can get the hell out of here, and do another after show. If you guys want access to this after show and all the other after shows for all the other shows we're doing and have done in the past, you can subscribe down at our Patreon at the $5 tier and get access to all those. If you join us at the $10 tier, you get access to some of our prep streams. And while you're down there clicking on those links, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. But for now, outros. So trapped by himself with some monsters and a fire gun. Bub, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Bub of Bub Talks. You can find me on twitch.tv/Bub Talks. Right at this particular moment, when I'm not doing the whole Pod by Night thing with the Shadows of Sybil and Crack Crown, you can find me on my own Twitch stream where I've just wrapped up Grounded. I also have just recently beaten Choo Choo Charles. I know, absolutely regrettable, but we've done it. I am starting, I guess I'm not even starting. Yesterday, I casually streamed like 11 hours of Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is insanely fun. It's insanely fun. If you're a fan of XCOM games, but also like Fire Emblem and setting up bizarre romances between Captain Marvel and Blade, then yes, then that might be for you.
I'm here for that.
Power couple we didn't know that we needed.
I did.
That's me, guys.
Fan freaking tastic. Zach, same questions. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hello, everyone. I am Zach, and you can find me on this channel for this thing, and also on other channels for other things, such as Our Vanilla Ron, where one Tuesday a month, Dot and I voice act text-based games on our vocalists. Our one for this month is later this month, I think the last Tuesday of the month or something of that sort, and we're doing Citizen Sleeper, which has been a lot of fun. Nice sci-fi sort of dystopian ring-based station shenanigans. I'm also on that channel for a bi-weekly Saturday sci-fi D&D campaign called Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. And You'll also find me on my own channel, on my website as well, www.zackley.com. And that's about it for me for now. I'm happy. There's aliens. Question
yeah.
mark, asterisk.
There is questionable aliens.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Meta, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
No, just shooting people in the back. No big deal. Causing crazy chaos that unleashes hell on a station. Yeah, you guys can find me here, and then soon to be another. Or have we announced the?
We
other
haven't. We have
thing?
not announced that. Wow. Just sneaking in spoilers there. Yeah, Meta will be
I
on
could
another.
be fucking with everybody though, because you don't know.
There's a thing coming in the future that we'll have an announcement at some point.
Maybe
I think.
we'll do the after show tonight.
I
After show Patreon only.
I feel like Meta and I are talking about something different, but we can also
Different
announce
thing,
that.
but also the
Yeah.
other thing, Dot. That
There
other
are-
thing, definitely.
There are two announcements to be made. The third being that next week is the finale of this show. So future announcements to come. We'll sneak one in the after show tonight. So if you haven't subscribed down to the Patreon, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm gonna make a puzzle for everybody in Discord to tell you about something else that's secret, and we'll see if you can figure it out.
No balls, you won't do it. You won't.
I will.
Okay, I'm down
So
for this.
will.
I'm
It's gonna be
absolutely
like
down for
the
this.
Da Vinci Code, okay?
I want that so bad. Fantastic. And last but not least, Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Friends, I am Little Red Dot. You can find me where Little Red Dots are found. As Bub mentioned, I'm over there doing stuff with Pod by Night. Lots of big things for Kobold Press this week. So that is what I can say about that. If you want to go find out more about that, you should just go hit the Kobold Press website, check out our blog, and check out our most recent announcement. That is my life right now. Okay.
Yeah. True that. Everyone has seen a bunch of shit about a bunch of shit going down in the TTRPG spaces. I know we don't do a lot of D&D here on this channel, but I know plenty of people out there are fans of that. And if you are fans of things like that, do go check out Kobold Press. Check out Project Black Flag. From what I know of the people that work there and the products they create, it's going to be cool. It can't not be. So go check it out. Throw some support behind that and shout it from the mountaintops. That being said, we're out of here. We'll see you next week for the finale of Genesis. And hopefully, most of us survive. So from all of us to you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.